Hi students, in this video we learn about human digestive system. The food we eat contains not only simple substances like vitamins and minerals, but also contains complex substances like carbohydrates, proteins and fats. The body cannot use these complex substances unless they are converted into simple ones. The process of changing complex substances into simple substances using enzymes is known as digestion. The 5 stages of nutrition is given in this slide, which shows ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion. What is ingestion? Taking in food through mouth is known as ingestion. Digestion is breaking down of food molecules into nutrients is known as digestion. Digestion takes place in the stomach. Absorption is nothing but taking in nutrients by the cells. Assimilation is absorbing energy from the nutrients by the villi of the small intestine. Both absorption and assimilation takes place in the small intestine. Digestion is removal of undigested waste. The process of nutrition takes place with the help of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal includes the following organs: mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, bile duct, small intestine and large intestine and anus. Now we'll see the alimentary canal organs one by one in detail. First, mouth. It is bound by 2 soft, movable upper and lower lips and upper and lower jaws. Mouth leads to buccal cavity, which is a large space bound above the palate. The palate separates the windpipe. The organ is known as epiglottis, which separate the windpipe and the food pipe. Both the jaws bear teeth. Now we'll see what are the organs in mouth cavity or the buccal cavity. That has tongue, teeth, upper jaw, lower jaw and the epiglottis. Now we'll see about teeth. There are different types of teeth, especially humans having 4 types of teeth. They are incisors, canines, premolars and molars. And in our lifetime, we are having 2 sets of teeth. They are milk teeth, they are 20 in number, and which is replaced by the permanent teeth, which is 32, 16 in each jaw. And then one more teeth we are having, that is thecodont. Humans are having thecodont type of teeth. This slide shows the types of teeth, that is the attachment of the root with the gums. Based on this, we can classify the teeth into acrodont, pleurodont and thecodont. Humans' roots are fitted in the gum. So, we are having thecodont type of teeth. So, based on the type of sets of teeth, we can write the dental formulae. For milk teeth, in each half of the upper jaw and the lower jaw contains 10 in each jaw. So, that is written as 2, 1, 2. And then in the lower jaw 2, 1, 2. So, totally 20 milk teeth, which is replaced by the permanent teeth. That is 2, 1, 2, 3, which are nothing but the types of teeth. 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolar and 3 molar. So, in the upper jaw 8 and the lower jaw 8 in one half. So, 2 half contain 16 into 2, 32 teeth. So, we are having thecodont type of teeth. So, totally The dentition types mentioned in the textbooks are diphyodont, heterodont and thecodont. Diphyodont means two sets of teeth, milk teeth and permanent teeth. Heterodont means different types of teeth are present. Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Thecodont means a root as fitted with the gum. Now we'll move on to tongue. Tongue is meant for to taste the food and to masticate the food and make the food into bolus. And you can see taste buds are located in the tongue. These taste buds are responsible for the taste of the food. You know the types of taste, isn't it? What are they? The basic 5 types of taste are sweet, salt, sour, bitter and umami. And the location of these taste buds are given in this slide. The 5 types of taste you know very well. Based on the intensity, 2 more types of tastes are added. What are they? Pungent and astringent. You know about these tastes. What is umami? This was discovered by Japanese doctor Kikume Ikeda. He discovered that umami is a savory taste which blends well with the other taste. Usually, it is associated with the ripe tomatoes and cheese. So, we can taste the food with the help of tongue. The tastes are associated with the food. They are meaty, minty, or fruity, etc. This structure shows the tongue. Can you swallow your tongue? Is it possible? No, you cannot. You cannot swallow your tongue because it is attached with a thin line of tissue to the bottom of the mouth, and also the thin tissues are attached to the front and side of the pharynx. So, you cannot swallow the tongue. Tongue is meant for taste. And the younger person has more taste buds than an old person, about 2 times as much. The reason is, as a person gets older, the taste cells don't get replaced like they do when we are younger. This slide shows salivary glands. There are 3 pairs of salivary glands in the mouth cavity. They are parotid glands, sublingual glands, and submaxillary or submandibular glands. Parotid glands lie in the cheeks in front of the ears. Sublingual glands lie beneath the tongue. They are the smallest glands. Submaxillary glands lie at the angles of the lower jaw. Now we'll see the functions of salivary glands. Salivary glands secrete 1.5 liters of saliva per day. It helps to digest starch by the action of the enzyme ptyalin. Saliva converts starch into maltose, is that polysaccharide into disaccharide. Saliva also contains an antibacterial enzyme called lysozyme. This slide shows the structure of epiglottis. The masticated food in the buccal cavity becomes bolus with the help of the saliva and the tongue, which is rolled by the tongue and passed through pharynx into the esophagus by swallowing. During swallowing, the epiglottis, a muscular flap-like structure at the tip of the glottis, closes and prevents the food from entering into trachea. This slide shows the structure of pharynx. It is a membranous lined cavity behind the nose and mouth, connecting them to the esophagus. It serves as a pathway for the movement of bolus from mouth to esophagus. Esophagus is otherwise known as food pipe. It is a muscular membranous canal about 22 centimeter in length. It conducts food from pharynx to the stomach by the peristalsis. Peristalsis is a wave-like movement produced by the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the muscular walls of the alimentary canal. The bolus passes from esophagus to stomach through gastrophageal sphincter. Next to the esophagus is stomach. It is a wide J-shaped muscular organ located between esophagus and the small intestine. The gastric glands present in the inner walls of the stomach secrete gastric juice. The gastric juice is colorless, highly acidic, contains mucus, hydrochloric acid, and enzymes renin and pepsin. Next to stomach, small intestine. It is about 5 to 7 meter in length. This is the long coil tube in the alimentary canal, which comprises of 3 parts. They are duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Duodenum is C-shaped and receives the bile duct and pancreatic duct from liver and pancreas. Jejunum is the middle part of the small intestine. It is a short region of the small intestine. The secretion of the small intestine is the intestinal juice, which contains the enzymes like sucrase, maltase, lactase, and lipase. And the ileum forms the lower part of the small intestine and opens into the large intestine. Ileum is the longest part of the small intestine, which contains minute finger-like projections called villi. In the villi, absorption of food takes place. The absorption and the assimilation of the nutrition processes takes place in this villi. They are approximately 4 million in number. Internally, each villus contains fine blood capillaries and lacteal tubes. William Beaumont was a surgeon who was known as the father of gastric physiology. Based on his observations, he concluded that stomach's strong hydrochloric acid played a vital role in digestion. This slide shows the structure of liver. Liver has 2 main lobes, right and left. The right lobe is larger than the left lobe. On the undersurface of the liver, gallbladder is present. The liver cells secrete bile, which is temporarily stored in the gallbladder. Bile is released into small intestine when food enters in the bile. It has bile salts and bile pigments. Bile salts help in the digestion of fats and emulsifies the fat. The functions of the liver are: liver controls blood sugar and amino acid levels, which helps to synthesize fetal red blood cells. Liver produces fibrinogen and prothrombin used for clotting of blood. Prothrombin used for blood clotting. Liver destroys red blood cells. Liver stores iron, copper, vitamin A and D. It produces heparin, an anticoagulant agent. It also excretes toxic and metallic poisons. Liver helps to detoxify substances including drugs and alcohol. Now we'll see about pancreas. It is a lobed, leaf-shaped gland situated between the stomach and the duodenum. Pancreas acts both as exocrine and endocrine gland. The gland's upper surface bears islets of Langerhans, which have endocrine cells and secrete hormones, in which alpha cells and secrete glucagon and beta cells secrete insulin. The exocrine part of the pancreatic gland secretes pancreatic juice, which contains 3 enzymes. They are lipase, trypsin, and amylase, which act on fats, proteins, and starch. Now we'll see about the large intestine. The unabsorbed food or the undigested food is passed into the large intestine. It is about 1.5 meters in length. It extends from ileum to the anus. It has 3 parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. Teniocoli are a band of smooth muscle that extend along the surface of the large intestine, aiding the movement of fecal matter. Cecum is a small blind pouch-like structure situated at the junction of the small and the large intestine. From its blind end, a finger-like structure called vermiform appendix arises. It is a vestigial organ in human beings. Vestigial means functionless. It is of no use. We are not using nowadays. So it is a vestigial organ. And the colon is much broader than the ileum. So it is divided into 3 types. It passes up the abdomen on the right. So that is known as ascending colon. Crosses to the left below the stomach. So that is known as transverse colon. And down on the left side. So this portion is known as descending colon. And it crosses and joins the rectum. This area is known as sigmoid colon. And the rectum is the last part which opens into the anus. It is kept closed by a ring of muscle called anal sphincter, which opens when passing stools. Now it's quiz time. On a sheet of paper, write the name of each colored organ. What you are observing in green, red, pink, brown, purple, green and yellow color. Write the organ's name. Check out with this slide. Thank you, children.